everyone, I'm Jay.
And I'm Sean.
And we watched WandaVision.
The last episode, the season finale.
No, the series finale.
Okay.
That is the title of the episode.
Okay, well maybe they're just joking.
Maybe they're just joking, yes. Well, I think it was last week they were denying that WandaVision had a sealed fate, but I did think, based on the title of this episode, that they might be kissing it goodbye. And it would be understandable if they did, because this series is rolling into movies that are coming out late this year and even early next. So it's hard to then start it up again. It's got some pretty big lead time. So, WandaVision episode 9, the series finale, the last one, maybe forever.
Maybe.
What did you think?
I liked it.
Okay. Thank you for watching, everyone. Bye.
Yep. See ya. Yeah, it's good. Go watch it. Mm-hmm. I thought it wrapped everything up pretty well, all things considered. Mm-hmm. Since we've had 8 episodes to get here, and then like no fighting, and then this episode's all fighting.
All fighting all the time. So primary fights are between Wanda and Agatha, and Vision and Vision. As we sort of thought we might get a Vision versus Vision last week, we did.
We did. They didn't waste any time.
No. White Vision appears. Wanda's momentarily confused. She hasn't had the benefit that we have of looking things up on the internet and seeing
yes.
what White Vision is.
Yeah.
But he makes his intentions known pretty quickly around her neck.
He's gonna crush her head.
So,
Yeah. That's not ambiguous.
Then Other Vision appears.
Right.
Original Vision.
Original Vision in color. It kind of went reverse, didn't it?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, Agatha. This is an Agatha-heavy episode. She is obviously antagonizing Wanda. She's got the boys with a noose around their necks. Why? Because she wants Wanda to attack her, because Agatha wants to steal her magic. We know that she is able to do this. She's able to soak up other witches' powers, and then they become her own. In fact, Agatha says, "I take magic from those who are undeserving." And I sort of maybe read too much into that line at first, and I was like, whoa, are you telling us something we didn't know about Wanda? But I think that this is all Agatha's own judgment on this.
Yeah, she's biased.
And her judgment is very self-serving.
Yes,
right?
I agree.
Because I don't know if any of the witches so far have been good, but she certainly isn't.
Yeah.
We have not seen that from her. And I had expected Agatha to be sort of a benevolent force. I'd read that she was like a mentor of Wanda's. And though she does teach Wanda some lessons in this episode and previously, it was not really with the benevolent sort of teacherly...
That was not her goal.
No. Anyways, Wanda is able to escape this first little fray on the street by sending a car into Agatha, which was great. I liked that a lot. The car crashes into the side of a house, peeks under the car, sees only the witch's boots, which was a cute nod, I thought, to the wizard claws. But Agatha's not dead. It's going to take a lot more than that to kill Agatha, so be on your guard. Meanwhile, this has been going on in the streets. I think Agatha references that book we were all wondering about that we saw in her lair. I think she called it the Book of the Damned.
She did. It had another name also, which I don't remember.
Okay. So, I guess, it's got a lot of magic in it. But it also has warned about the Scarlet Witch.
It has. She's got a whole chapter.
Yeah. And says that her destiny is to destroy the world. So, should we flag that and keep that in the back of our minds for future reference?
It's certainly worth remembering. It's probably a bit of hyperbole. And it might be underestimating Wanda based on what we've seen.
Okay, interesting. So then we are checking out Vision versus Vision. So Vision in color, the Hex Vision. He's on Wanda's side again. He seems to have a new appreciation and understanding for why she did what she did. And no matter what, he's going to be on her team.
He loves Wanda.
Definitely stepping in between her and White Vision, who only wants to destroy. We do cut away at some point to Monica Rambeau and Pietro. So I think 2 episodes ago, we saw Pietro interrupt Monica in a little investigation around Agatha's house. Haven't seen them since. He's been holding her in his man cave, as he calls it.
His attic, yeah.
Yes. Where she discovers that he is just an ordinary citizen of Westview. So despite the fact that this guy has the same face that we have seen from a Peter in the X-Men franchise.
Yeah. And the powers that go
with
it. Mm-hmm. He's just apparently
He's just a guy. Yes. That owned the house that Agnes was living in. His real name is Ralph, so I guess that's the husband she's constantly referring to, the husband we never saw.
Yeah.
Because we did see him, but he was going under a different name. Ooh, interesting. Ralph Bohner, hanging out in Westview attics.
Yeah, he's a creep.
A bit of a creepy guy, yeah, we knew it.
We did, he announced it.
Yeah, so Agatha has been controlling him via his hemp necklace. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a bit of a downer, that whole kind of, not even a wrap up. That's an unsatisfying part of this.
That was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So are you just taking the show at its word? You think he's gonna, that was it for him?
Better not be. I have no reason to think they're gonna do anything with it, because they could have set up a whole million different things and they chose not to.
And they chose the anti-setup.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, he was nothing all along.
That's right.
Red herring Ralph Bohner.
Yeah. Dumb.
Well, it wasn't great.
No.
It wasn't great. Now Agatha and Wanda are fighting like in the town square. And this is a big fight, not only between them, but because the other townsfolk are around, and Agatha sort of cuts their strings, as she puts it, lets the real people surface. And they all start pleading with Wanda, letting her know that, no, we are not, like, Wanda thinks she's treating everyone kindly, doesn't realize, but she tells them they feel her pain, they have her nightmares. One of them actually says, if you won't let us go, let us die. Like, that is
serious, yeah.
That is serious. That is how bad it has been for people. Dottie, who I thought was going to be somebody, isn't anybody, just pleads, like, can I hold my daughter again? It's really kind of a sad thing. So sad that it does get through to Wanda. And she does sort of create a void in the hex, a way for them to escape. But it also allows a way for SWORD to enter. So in comes basically the military.
Yeah.
You know, this is bad news because already White Vision seems like a formidable opponent. Agatha is a very powerful opponent and is getting more powerful every time she absorbs some of Wanda's power. And now we've got the entire military coming in. Well, not the entire military, but like a huge component of SWORD coming in. And we know Director Hayward has got nothing but bad news written all over him.
Yep.
So it is feeling like this is an impossible situation. Here's the thing. By opening up the hex, of course, the hex is the only thing keeping Wanda's family alive. They are part of the hex.
They don't exist otherwise.
No.
Yes.
So both Vision and her kids start to disintegrate immediately. So she's got to close that up or face losing her family. Meanwhile, the two Visions are off in like a library now, fighting it out, duking it out. And they are extremely evenly matched.
They are.
It may not surprise you.
Yes.
Luckily, one is shooting like a yellow beam, the other's got a white-blue beam coming from his forehead. You can still tell them apart even when they're beam shooting each other. But Color Vision, Hex Vision, our Vision, realizes that maybe the best way to win this fight is to appeal to his logic. Benefit of those robotic synthezoid whatchamacallits. What?
No, it's fine.
Well, what do you want to call it?
It's fine. I think that's the way you have to play it.
Okay. Appeals to a sense of logic.
It does.
He's gonna, and you know what? He's lucky that the other one is also a robot, because you know when you try to appeal to my sense of logic.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
No.
It doesn't work at all.
No. I'm just gonna dig in even deeper.
It's true.
Because how dare you?
It just makes you mad.
Well, first of all, you know I'm smarter than you, so don't think I don't know the logic of the situation just because you're like void of empathy and you don't understand emotion. But neither do the visions. And so they really are just going to philosophize this out.
Yeah, they are.
And realize that we're the same and we shouldn't be enemies. We should fight in common. And I think Vision even ends up sort of awakening his own memories within White Vision.
Correct. Yep.
So I think, even though we never see White Vision again this episode, and, you know, he does not get wrapped up.
No, he's our new Vision.
What happened to White Vision? I think
he's our new Vision. Absolutely. I mean, he has all the memories now of Vision up to Thanos killing him. So, for sure, we have not seen the last of him.
We have not seen the last of White Vision, but somebody grab a box of crayons, please.
Yeah.
So, Vision is using logic. Wanda and Agatha take to the skies to duke it out. Wanda leaves her 2 kids on the ground and actually puts them in charge of the military. So, mere moments ago in the episode, she had pled with her children to go inside where it's safe. But now she's like, okay, use your powers. I'm sorry we haven't prepared you for this, but we're calling on this right now. Use your powers. And they do. So these are little untested children who barely knew they had powers, but now they're taking on the military. Not the entire military, Jay, but the military, that's fine. But they cannot account for Director Hayward, who, is this the most scumbuckety thing? Now, he's gonna shoot children.
He's gonna shoot kids, yeah.
Okay? He all along has just said he wants to recover Vision. That's his thing. He's obsessed with getting his weapon back. He's willing to take down Wanda to do it. He even thinks that might, you know, make him a hero.
Big part of his plan, yeah.
Yes. But shooting children in the head, yeah, apparently he was prepared to do that.
Totally prepared.
And they, like, the kids were not threatening them in any way, you know?
No, they just took away their guns.
Just, neutralized them, but didn't do anything bad. So, you know, to pull a gun is a little extreme, I thought. But Monica Rambeau, call her Photon or what have you, she's got those powers. And whether or not she even knows she can do this, she steps in front of the gun. So I think either way, she is a hero. Because I don't think she knows that she has the power to stop bullets. Well, not even stop them, but they sort of pass through her and get neutralized.
Yeah.
She really robs them of their velocity.
Absolutely does.
But don't count out those kids, because they've got powers too. And the 3 of them working together was kind of cute. They had a little moment of discovering some of their tricks together.
They did. Very little moment, but they got a little show.
Yeah, a little show, yes. So again, we have definitely set up Monica in this series. We're just beginning to figure out who and what she is as a superhero. Haven't called her that yet.
But she is.
But she is. I think potentially a trouble spot is that she just showed herself, though, to Hayward.
Yeah, Hayward is not going to be...
He's not going to be cool with that. Well...
I don't know that we're going to ever see him again.
Okay. Well, yeah. He is going away, guys.
Yeah.
He's got his comeuppance.
But I feel like he's also not that good of a character.
Okay.
Like, he's just the bad military guy. Okay. There's 1,000 more of them.
Oh, the entire military is full of them, right, Sean?
Oh, yeah.
So the reason he's been neutralized is Darcy. Darcy, in the smallest cameo of the episode, appears out of almost nowhere with only the jingling of her funnel cake truck. Gives us a tiny premonition of here she comes, rams herself into Hayward's truck so that he will be arrested and go to jail.
Hooray!
Yay! Meanwhile, up in the sky, Agatha and Wanda are duking it out. Wanda kind of did a thing where she brought Agatha to Salem.
Yeah.
To back to that in the
the
woods
witch's circle that we saw at the beginning of
right.
the previous episode.
Mm-hmm. And Wanda sort of reanimates her coven, despite Agatha pleading with her not to. And perhaps Wanda should have listened, because the coven immediately turns on her as well. The coven doesn't like any powerful witches, apparently.
No, they don't like the Scarlet Witch.
No, they do not.
They've heard bad things about her.
They have. They've all read that book, the Book of the Damned, and it does damn her, at least. Anyway, so they escape Salem. They're back in the sky. Agatha has said, just give me all your powers. If you give me your powers, I can correct the hex for you. I can fix your mistakes in your spells, since, you are an idiot and you don't really know how to do them. And Wanda isn't even having any of that. She's just like, take my powers, I don't want them. So they're in the sky, but Wanda is like throwing her powers, basically. And Agatha is catching them all, absorbing them all, becoming more and more powerful, and we're super worried. Because what the heck? But don't worry. Surprise! There's runes, bitches! Wanda has been one step ahead of Agatha this whole time. Well, not this whole time, but most of this time.
Fight, yeah.
Yes. And she has carved some runes into her hex, into the entire Westview hex. So, we learned that 2 episodes back, I guess, that within the runes, whoever casts the runes, only that witch can use powers. So everything that's been happening up until now is for nothing, and Wanda retains it all.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
She wins!
Yeah! Big backfire for Agatha. Darn it! And we see Scarlet Witch's new updated costume.
Which
what
is good.
did you think of that?
I like the costume.
I can't wait until I own that headpiece.
Yeah.
I need that hairband, guys.
Yeah.
I do.
It's a good costume.
You're liking it?
I do. It feels like the comic book one, but updated so that it actually works in the movies, because as we saw during the Halloween episode, the original comic book costumes are pretty goofy.
Okay, so I'm glad you liked it.
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now Wanda can land peacefully on the ground. Agatha follows. She sort of, I thought, shows Agatha mercy, doesn't let her get arrested, doesn't kill her, simply turns her into a villager of Westview. So she is going to now be the character she pretended to be. Yes, the nosy neighbor, Agnes.
I like that.
Permanently.
And we haven't seen the last of her.
No, that's it. It certainly sets up the fact that at any moment we could come back to her.
Yeah.
She could escape. We could use her as a resource.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's ever going to be the nice, benevolent force in Wanda's life.
Hard to say, but she's got some time to think about what she's done.
He does. So.
And there is an alternative if you think that someone is going to destroy the world. Ooh. And you can't beat them, is just try and guide them.
There you go. So, the Vision's taken care of, the military, Hayward, now Agatha. Seems like we're doing pretty well this episode.
It does.
But I think the most difficult thing is still to come, because Wanda knows she has to take down the hex. Ooh, so this actually was very, after such an effects-heavy, fighting-heavy episode, to end on a very emotional place like this was a curveball, but a very, I think, a satisfying one. We wanted to see this.
This is how it had to end.
Yes.
Wanda has to give up this false reality and come back to the real world, which unfortunately means Vision and her kids are going away. They can't exist. They can't continue. We know that. And she knows that.
So, Vision and Wanda take the kids, Billy and Tommy, back to their house. They tuck the kids into the bed. They tell them how proud they are of them and that family is forever. Thanks for choosing me to be your mom, she tells them. Oh, very emotional.
It is.
Tuck the kids into the bed, and now it's just Vision and Wanda. As, you know, we can actually see the end of the hex coming.
It's coming. It's collapsing.
Yes. So, you know, they have their little moment where she says everything to him, that he is the piece of the Mind Stone that lives within her. And, you know, it is a very emotional thing because her grief over him was so powerful. It started this whole thing. And now she's going to not only grieve him again, but the kids in addition.
Yep.
It's leaving her in a worse place, guys. This was a terrible idea. It has made her worse. But anyways, they agree that they have said goodbye before, and odds are, stands to reason, we'll say hello again, which is a nice way to bid adieu. But of course, we know in the back of our heads that White Vision is lurking around with real Vision's memories.
Yep.
So that's important.
It is important. Absolutely.
That's important. So yeah. So the hex disintegrates. Wanda is standing alone in the empty lot that Vision had bought her. And that's it.
And she's moving out of Westboro.
Yeah,
Westview.
we see her leave Westview, say goodbye to Monica. And, yeah, I think she knows that she's got to lay low for a while. End series.
The end.
Whew, okay. So stick around during the credits, though. Like all good Marvel movies, you know, you've been waiting 3 hours to pee, you're gonna wait another half hour. Because there's lots of credits.
But we can fast forward.
Yes, there is that. So, mid-credits scene. Yes, we're getting a mid-credits scene. Monica is impressed with Jimmy Woo. Jimmy Woo's in charge of this cleanup and debriefing, and he's getting the job done. But
yeah, because he called in the FBI.
Yes, he did.
And he escaped from Hayward to do that. Mm-hmm. And now they're arresting Hayward because he's a bad guy.
Yay! But Monica has been called into the theater to have a little discussion. Turns out, though...
It's a Skrull.
It's a Skrull. So the woman who brings her in, like, reveals her green Skrully face to her.
And pointy ears.
And pointy ears. And says, you know, that her boss wants to talk to her up there.
That's right.
Ooh, juicy, juicy.
That's right.
So Monica obviously is being called away immediately. Like, things are happening. I think...
Yeah,
she's not getting arrested.
On the space station.
This woman
Nick Fury already is.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we know that Monica's storyline definitely is continuing very quickly post WandaVision. Yep. You know, this poor woman just got unblipped, finds out her mother is dead, finds out her mentor is evil, gets thrown into Westview, the situation, turns into a superhero. Now she's being called up. She's had very little time to digest things. And I have to say, Teyonah Parris, fabulous hair this entire series. For a woman who has really had a lot of other things on her plate, she's looking good. Definitely, I'm excited to see where they take her.
Take it all the way to Captain Marvel 2.
Oh, well, yes. We definitely do look forward to seeing her there, if not before. But wait, there is another scene, a post-credit scene. Wait all the way until the end, where we catch up with Wanda. I'm assuming in Sokovia or somewhere thereabouts. It is certainly a secluded lake. She's got a little cottage all to herself, looking sad and bereft as you might expect. But her second self, which is weird, she could split a part of herself aside.
Yeah, she's pulling a Doctor Strange here.
Ooh boy. So there is the Scarlet Witch of herself is reading, is doing all of that research, learning about her powers. She really is doing her homework, so good for her. And she did say that to Monica, like, I don't know what my powers are, but I will find out. And she's taking this seriously. So even though she may not have a mentor, she is taking this on herself, which I think is responsible.
Yeah.
If you are that big of a weapon, you probably should know what the weapon does. But inside this sort of magic, whatever, illusion that we see of her reading, she hears some faraway cries. And it's her children, and they're crying out for her and for help.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's setting up, wow.
Yeah, I mean, that is setting up Mephisto as people have theorized.
Yes.
That's what happens in the comics, is this similar thing where she thinks she loses her kids, and then it turns out they can be retrieved.
Ooh.
But you gotta fight Mephisto.
Yeah, and he's a pretty big villain.
He is a pretty big villain,
He's
absolutely.
a pretty big baddie. Okay, so we know where Wanda is, and we kind of know the direction her story is taking.
We do, and she's probably gonna need some help.
Uh-huh.
And so who better to recruit than Doctor Strange himself to go into another dimension and fight a big bad guy.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And I mean, with her children at stake, that's a pretty big motivator for Wanda.
It is,
so
absolutely.
This is galvanizing these events. So now we know what she has invested in the Doctor Strange plot, which we didn't know. We knew she was going to be in the movie, but why Wanda and Doctor Strange? Well, now we know it's personal. So we know White Vision is out there somewhere. We did not get much of a wrap up on him.
Not at all. It's wide open.
Right, because Sword brought him online and was going to use him to take down Vision and Wanda, which he did not do because Color Vision, Hex Vision, kind of convinced him not to, and then gave him his memories. So White Vision, I think, is already not a bad guy.
No, he's not. He's going to be the same Vision. Mm-hmm. He is Vision. He confirms that to himself. Mm-hmm. So now he has no mission, because his mission was to destroy Vision. Mm-hmm. But he's not going to destroy himself.
Right. So, but we don't know, we didn't see anything more from him. We don't know where he is. Does Sword get their hands on him? Did he take off? We don't know where he is. But Wanda better find him.
Well,
of course, Wanda doesn't
know.
Which probably Vision should have told her that.
Yeah. He had other things on his mind.
Well, it was essential. Oh, important information to share with your spouse.
It's true.
The Pietro line, ooh, that wrapped up kind of harshly.
Badly.
It was disappointing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was such an exciting reveal in the series, and then to be like, oh, he was nobody.
Yeah.
Stunt casting.
Yeah.
Really.
Not good.
It worked in the moment.
In the moment it did, but it just does not.
Fizzle.
It fizzles out, and then you're disappointed, and it would have been better not to have done that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Agatha. Agatha, we've left in New Jersey. Poor Agatha.
Yep.
But she's alive, and she's certainly not out.
No.
So we know where she is for the time being. You know, I don't know who in the world knows about Agatha. We don't know very much about Agatha,
there
right?
might be some witches that know, but she might also have already absorbed all their powers.
Yeah, taken them out. Yeah, so where is all this heading? Well, into Doctor Strange, that's for sure.
Yep.
It's exciting stuff.
It is. Now we just have to wait.
Exciting stuff. And we might even get glimpses of it in Spider-Man, which is set. It is expected to be released this December 2021. And Doctor Strange then March 2022.
So then
and those
we know
movies
why
kind of tie
Wanda
into each other.
is going to be looking for Doctor Strange, or we think we do. We don't really know what Doctor Strange is going to have to what his involvement or motivation will be, but maybe we'll find that out in Spider-Man.
That's right. So all of these things are folding into each other. We're on the path. Phase 4 has started. Out of 10, Sean, what do you give WandaVision as a whole?
I give it a 9.
Okay, that's
I really
pretty high.
enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought this was a great start to the Disney Plus catalog of shows. I hope they're all this good. I mean,
I'm
WandaVision,
not sure, but
I'm not sure they will be. It's going to be a hard one to match because in part of the tone was so different. And I mean, other than this one big battle that we had in this episode, which I liked, but which was out of character for this show, the rest has all been character, and I mean, even just some fun stuff that was the sitcoms being reimagined.
And you think this was a good way for Wanda to get sort of her own, not everyone gets their own movie, but this was a way to introduce her character and get to know her a little bit better? Because really, we took on her and Pietro in Age of Ultron, and they barely got anything because it was already everything was already in motion, right?
That's right.
So did you feel like we got to know her a lot better on this?
Definitely.
Or yeah?
Yeah, and she's getting closer to the comic version, which was impossible at Age of Ultron stage.
Okay.
And now that Fox is part of the Disney family, they can do that. And they are. And they should, because she is a great character. And she is obviously very powerful, but also because of all the grief and the fact that her emotions, if unchecked, can really make crazy things happen. It makes her interesting, where she's not a villain, but she can be an antagonist.
Okay.
And I think that's exactly what the MCU needs more of.
Ooh, okay. Well, I certainly, Sword feels like she's an antagonist.
Well, we'll see. Because how much of Sword was Hayward?
Well, that's true, was Hayward. That is true. We know he was maybe not rogue, but overstepping his powers, and it had split into two factions. You know, what happens to Monica now? You know, lots of people in Sword thought she should have had his position, but of course she was blipped at the time.
Yeah.
Now she is revealed to be a superhero in her own right.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness.
We'll see, and we probably, I mean, that's going to be Captain Marvel. Where we go from here, it's going to be interesting.
Very interesting. And interesting to see more about these Skrulls. And I know there are other TV shows sort of hinting towards this as well, but what's up with that? I thought from the Captain Marvel that they were sort of nice guys, and now it turns out that maybe they're not. Now I feel like I have to be suspicious of them.
Well, you should be,
Okay.
yes. In the comics, certainly, they're not to be trusted. They have their own agenda. They're not evil, but they're not great. They're certainly, it's not as it was in the first Captain Marvel movie where the Kree are bad and the Skrulls are good. It's not that simple.
Right.
And I think we're probably going to find that out in the
Okay.
MCU as well.
Okay. Well, Monica, be on your guard. Certainly Elizabeth Olsen deserves all the praise in the world. I can't believe how good she was in this series. And I can't believe that I really appreciated her acting abilities from a Marvel property. That was, this is the first of its kind to really give somebody the scope and the space to explore her character.
Yeah, it's a good point. We knew she's a good actor, but you don't usually get to show that off in the MCU. Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor, but I mean, Tony Stark is not the most demanding role that he's had.
No, it's probably a lot closer to his true personality than anyone cares to admit. But yeah, she really has blown me away this entire series, and she's carried it, of course. It is much more Wanda than Vision. But yeah, I know she was saying recently how hard she worked. She went to school for acting. Once she decided that that's what she wanted to do, she knew that people would always cry nepotism because she had famous sisters. And it turns out, and this is horrifying, that some people discovered for the first time watching this show that she has famous sisters.
Really?
Had no idea that they were related, even though they look like they're
so
triplets
similar.
practically.
Yeah.
She's a giant triplet, but they do look so similar. So her sisters, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, of course, starred on a sitcom called Full House.
They were Michelle
Tanner, yes.
Tanner, the engine that drove that show.
Yes, and they really became their own thing for a while. They had lots of little movies, TV movies certainly. They were very popular for a time.
Line.
Yes. Then they pretty much have quit acting altogether. So she knew that if she wanted to act, that people would always remember, well, barely not always, but would remember her sisters and attribute that. So she knew she would have to work hard so that she knew that she was really deserving it. And I think this series, wow. I think we'll have to rewatch it again without having to nitpick every scene, to just appreciate it for itself, for its own thing. Which it deserves to be watched that way as well, because I think it is kind of cool TV.
Yes, it is.
It is. So Paul Bettany, I guess, now has a mechanism for continuing on in the MCU.
He does. As
that
he
was
should.
Brilliant of them.
We can't just leave Vision behind because he is an important part of Wanda's story.
Okay. Pietro, looks like maybe we will not be having him back.
Well, until the X-Men come, whenever that may be.
But that's not Pietro, that's just Peter. So Vision is in, Pietro
seems to be out, I guess
seems
we'll see.
to be out. Agatha, definitely don't count her out.
No.
Kathryn Hahn, I definitely would not be mad if she was a new member of the MCU. I love seeing her. I think she did great work in this series.
Yes, she
Holy cow.
Yep.
Randall Park, I thought was on point.
Yeah, he's going to be around. I think when we talk about the authority figures that we'll see again, I think Jimmy Woo is one
setting
that's
him
gonna
up
bring
for
back.
yeah,
for sure. He can be the sort of new Agent Coulson.
Ooh, hello. Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau or Photon or whatever. Definitely, we know we're seeing her again. We will meet again in the MCU. Darcy Lewis, Kat Dennings, took off before the end of the episode. Was seen only very briefly. She had a really cute one line and she's gone. Will we be seeing her again?
I'm guessing she's going to be back for the next Thor movie. I guess we'll see.
I guess we'll see.
But it seems like everyone is in the next Thor movie.
Yes, everyone wants to be, that's for sure.
Of course.
Yeah. So, anyone I'm missing? We did pretty well.
Yeah.
We did pretty well this series. Set up some new people, and I guess maybe her kids are not as lost as we think. We may be seeing them again.
I'm sure we will see them again because, as you've said, they're bringing the Young Avengers together. That's going to happen, and that seems clear.
Yeah.
Just a question of how that's going to come about.
Yes. And will it be these two kids? Are we going to see them suddenly as teenagers? Yeah. We don't know yet, but something's brewing.
Yep, absolutely.
And Wanda is going to go looking.
Yes, she is. How could she not?
How could she not? Yeah, no kidding. So, WandaVision has come to an end. We get 1 week off. And then...
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's right. So, don't get used to having your Friday nights off, guys.
No.
We will see
you can just say that for the rest of the year, I think.
That's right, pretty much. So, we will meet here again in 2 weeks' time to discuss the newest series on Disney Plus in the MCU. What's it called?
The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Why can't I remember that? I don't know.
I don't know, because it's like WandaVision. It's the Falcon and it's the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but I didn't even get WandaVision until halfway through. I was like, oh, Vision! Okay, I thought it was television, right. WandaVision.
It turns out it's those double meanings.
And I did not pick up on it, even though it is literally his name in full. So, anyways, see you in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for enjoying this series with us. It's been a lot of fun getting to talk about it and hear everybody's thoughts and fears and theories. And she's not over, guys.
No.
This series is ending, but everything else is opening up. That's right. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.